Appreciate it, bud.
Yeah.
Hair, makeup, and wardrobe.
Some makeup, I got some.
No, I don't want no makeup. Don't need no
Makeup!
the hair and
Makeup!
hair and makeup.
Tell the audience what your name is, please.
My name is Mark O'Neill.
And where are you from, Mark?
Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay, nice. Well, Mark, you came to us with some aviation experience. Tell us what kind of stuff you've flown in.
Fixed wing, rotorcraft. Started real young as a kid in experimental aviation about 1978 with gyrocopters with my father. My first job was cutting grass at a private airport in Waterford, Connecticut. And then progressed from there to doing aviation mechanic work, dismantling airplanes, and whatever the old man needed. And I've been around in and out of aviation, shoot, almost 50 years. Yeah, almost 50 years now.
Hey, what's up, guys? Gorilla here. We'll get back to the interview in a minute, but let's take a look at Mark's training and see how that went. We started out with some kiting, as always. We do kiting whether you're trike or foot launch because it's an invaluable skill and it really puts you in touch with your wing. Mark was kind of a natural and he was doing forward inflations and kiting on his very first day. This is Mark's dog, Stanker. I don't think she cared much for me at first, but she started to like me after a bit. Mark came with his own harness and kiting wing. Now he told me he hadn't been practicing, but I don't know. It seemed like he picked it up a little too easily. We were really fortunate and had just right winds for kiting. Really slowed down the speed that you have to run and lets you get a lot of reps in, so he picked it up really quick. Stanker could barely contain her enthusiasm. After only a few days, Mark had a really good grasp on kiting, both forward and reverse. We spent a couple hours each day on the field getting those skills locked down rock solid, while Stanker waited patiently. After spending some time learning about two-stroke engines, paramotors, startup procedures, and safety procedures, it was time for motor work. Stanker said, "Let's go."
Power, 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 power.
The following day, it was time for inflation and taxi practice. Inflation and taxi on a trike is the equivalent of kiting for a foot launch guy. In order to fly a trike, you have to be able to taxi and maintain steady, smooth control all the way up and down the field multiple times. At this point, you're pretty much ready to fly. We're going to have a couple discussions about safety procedures and emergency procedures, but the following day, Mark was going to be ready to make his first attempt at paramotor flight. As usual, Stanky was overcome with excitement.
Press back, looking for your wings, protect your propeller, roll on easy to start.
Good job, man. Nice work. You probably could have, man. That was a good landing. Good work, man. Takeoff and landing both perfect. Good work. I knew you were going to be a natural at this.
Mark got 2 successful flights in that morning. After that, we carried out the ritual of cutting his shirt. Over the next several days, Mark got a bunch of flights in. and got more and more comfortable with every takeoff and landing. Out of all the things you've flown, what brought you to paramotor, Mark?
I've always looked at the paramotors and just said that would be cool. I thought just the peacefulness and serenity of it once you get up there, because you don't have a bunch of mechanical noise. You're not surrounded by a fuselage or windshield and stuff like that. And you're just out in the open. You get up there and cut the motor and just float.
Oh, it is amazing. Well, what made you choose Florida Flight Sports?
Well, my buddy Rick over here, I got to know him the past couple of years, coming to Benson Days, and I went and saw him at the Bad Apples event. I told him, I said, I'm going to get into this paramotor thing. I'll come down to see you sometime. So he seemed like an amicable dude, so I said, I'll go see the Gorilla.
Well, Mark, after a few days of training, you got to take your very first flight. Can you tell us what that was like?
The first flight, to describe it, I mean, it's really hard to describe. But it was a lot different than any other aviation experience I've had. The actual openness and freedom of it was just close to being like a bird, to be honest with you. It really was. So you could say that it's hard to describe. You just have to experience it. For sure. So whoever's out there, I recommend, come on down here and see them. Come on down here.
Mark, what do you think you'll remember the most about your training here?
I didn't tear anything up. I didn't destroy anything. We had some near misses, but we didn't destroy anything. And I just had a good time. Everything was calm, mellow. There was no pressure. The atmosphere and the vibe was just, it was positive, no matter what happened.
Mark, what's your advice to someone that's thinking about getting into the sport and looking at training?
I tell them to come down here and check it out. Check it out, because they got a great group of guys down here, accommodate and friendly as can be. Just they do whatever they can to help you along your way, get you the experience, whether you like it or not. If you don't like it, they're not going to force it on you. And if you do like it, they're going to help you out the best way they can. If you get up there and you feel it's not for you, it's no big deal. They're going to say, hey, we're good to go, bring it on down.
And what are your plans for the sport, for paramotoring, after you leave here and go back to South Carolina, Mark?
They have to put it in my coffin with me. They have to bury me with a paramotor or some sort of aviation. But no, I'm going to continue on with it and progress. From what I've learned down here, what I need to focus on has really helped me to open for the awareness of things that I need to polish up, and I'm going to progress on with it and keep on going with the trikes. I'll be back down here to see Rick and the boys every chance I get.
Awesome, man. Great job.
Well, we really enjoyed our time with Mark here at Florida Flight Sports. He really excelled at paramotor training. He's going to make a great pilot. I really enjoyed my time with Old Stanker and look forward to seeing those guys again. They're part of the family here. Hit us up, guys. www.ppggorilla.com.